how do you get everything done? How do you do YouTube videos while you're making money, while you're having a family, while you have a job, while you're trying to exercise, and like how do you do everything? How can you be that productive? You know, people ask me that all the time, like, how do you do all the stuff that you do? How do you get it done? And so I'm here to tell you that there is nobody on this earth who could tell you how to get this done. Nobody. There is nobody who can give you any advice that is going to move you to suddenly become more productive at everything that you do, unless you are completely and absolutely compelled to get shit done. Like, you have to have a goal, and you have to kind of feel like you need to get stuff done. And you have to kind of decide what is the most important thing to you, you know? What is the thing that drives you more than anything else in your life? What is that one issue that you must achieve? And then you'll do it, because let's face it, we all just do what we want to do, right? I mean, in a free society like we live in, and I use that in quotes, but in a society where we could generally make choices and make decisions, and I know all the social structure, construct kind of things that we could talk about, but I'm just talking about as a generalization. You know, we all can make certain decisions and make certain choices, and I would say that most people choose to not get done what they want to get done. And they choose to create every obstacle. They choose to point out every excuse. They choose to do that because I personally believe they don't really want to do it. And I know that sounds weird, because you might think you want to do something, right? You might think you want to accomplish something, but if you don't do it, if you don't at least try, then you don't really want to, you know? Because there's no guarantee you're going to succeed. You know, there's no guarantee that you're going to get to the finish line, that you're going to accomplish everything that you want to accomplish. You know, you might very well fail. It might be an epic failure. You know, you might not even get close to what you're trying to do. But if you don't at least try, to me that means that you don't really want to do it, you know? Like, some people will say, well, you know, if you try and you don't get there, you didn't want it bad enough. I totally disagree with that. You might want it more than anything else in your life. It might be the most important thing to you of anything that you could possibly think of. Like, it might be the very thing that you kind of define your existence upon. But if you don't get there, that doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean like you didn't really want it. It doesn't mean that you didn't work hard enough. It doesn't mean that you weren't willing to give what it takes to get there. It just means that it didn't work out. But if you try and you give 100%, you give all of yourself, and you leave no stone unturned, and you just like attempt it in every possible way that you can think of, that's a life well lived, you know? That's a day-to-day existence that you could be proud of. That's something that you can feel good about, you know, whether you get there or not, because, you know, this sounds trite and it sounds like a cliche, but it is all about the journey, you know? Life is about the day-to-day. Life is about this moment right now. Like, there's nothing else that's guaranteed, you know? The past, you can't do anything about. It's already happened. And the future, you have no idea. You have no idea what's going to happen in 5 seconds, you know, in a day from now, in a week from now, in months from now, in a year from now. You have no idea. You have no idea who you're going to meet. You have no idea what opportunities are going to come your way. Who's going to give you an opportunity? Where you're going to wind up? Like, you have no idea when or where something may or may not happen. The only thing that you can control is what you decide to do right now. You know, if you want to like pick up a pen and paper, or pick up your computer or your tablet or your cell phone or whatever, and start jotting down a path that's going to lead you in the direction of where you want to go. That's the only thing you can guarantee, you know? The only thing that you can guarantee is your intention and then your actions. That's it, you know? And in my opinion, if you give it your best shot, you are a superhero. You are powerful. You are the best that you could possibly be. You're inspiring. You're a great example to your children and your friends and your community. Like, you're doing the best you can and giving other people an example of what it takes to try as hard as you possibly can. That's what life is about. Life is about giving everything that you have, of reaching your full potential. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you even know what your full potential is. And you might even be taking a path that's not even best suited for you. But it's all about what you feel, you know, what you want, what you desire, you know. Now, there's definitely something to be said for being flexible and being open to change and movement and all that kind of stuff and having common sense. But I really believe that if you give everything that you have, you're going to know when it's time to kind of move in a different direction. But then you're armed with all this strength and all this, you know, this knowledge and this experience that you've had of giving everything that you have, trying to get somewhere. And then the next trip is going to be a lot easier because you know what to do, you know. Now you've been there, done that, you know what to do, how to approach the next step with all of your strength. And, you know, by the way, more strength that you had at the beginning, because now it's like working out, it's like training, you know. The more you do, the more you get, you know. The more you have, and the more you're armed with to move forward. That's what life is about. And so I can't give you any advice on how to get everything done. You're going to do what you want to do. You know, we've all heard all the stories of like single mothers with no money who go to school somehow, you know, full-time while they're working 3 jobs, taking care of 3 kids in a studio apartment where they're struggling to pay their rent, and somehow they graduate and then they go to law school and they become attorneys, and then they run companies and they hire other people and they empower people, and we've all heard those stories. So it can be done. But you know, it also should be acknowledged that you don't have to be at that level of achievement either. You know, it's really all about what you want for yourself, what you see for yourself, you know. And I hate the term be realistic. I'm totally against it, you know. Don't be realistic, you know. Go for what you think you can get. Go for everything that you want and try your best. That's it. Because if you don't do that, you're always going to wonder, what if I tried? You know, what would have happened? You know, like, maybe I would have gotten there. Maybe I would have failed, but maybe I would have gotten there. Maybe I would have achieved something, you know. Maybe I would have set a better example for my kids, for my community, for other people, for, you know, maybe I would have inspired elderly people or people who feel stuck and just can't get anywhere. Maybe I would have been able to really make that kind of contribution, even if I didn't get there, just by trying. You know, just by getting out there and putting one foot in front of another and just moving. You know, stop standing still, get off the computer, get away from the screen, you know, make a decision, get up and go.